Hello and welcome to this week's GG Weekend Watch, kindly sponsored by SBK, with Daryl Carter, Andrew Mount and myself to look forward to this weekend's action, where we have a quieter weekend in terms of the big races, but certainly not in terms of the quantity of races that we have on offer. We'll be heading to Haydock, Beverley, and as well as the token race at Chester right at the end as well. So plenty to look forward to therefore. So we shall begin then with our first race. This is the 145 at Haydock, which is the listed Achilles Stakes for 3-year-olds and over 5 furlongs. This is a very open contest, but with plenty of likeable types in here. We know an awful lot about already. So, Andrew, were you pushing out a finish there, or what was quite going on? Because I'll let you kick us off if you want.
I bought the Queen's horse at Yarmouth on the spreads, but got second for 30 points, so we made a 12-point profit. So we're all
but very well done. Perfect start. That's what we like as an intro.
Yeah, interesting race this. Not a difficult, not an easy one to solve though. But Ainsdale's changed yards since we last saw him, but he's a horse I've always backed in October. Seems to be a real autumn horse to keep an eye on him. Stick him in your trackers for the autumn. Atalis Bay was one that I think Daryl liked last time, but he was withdrawn. That was at York. I thought he'd go quite well on this track after that first run for Robert Cowell at Newmarket last time. He ran as though that would be needed. He was on the short list of 3, along with Tenaya Canyon and Raasel. Raasel did best of the hold-up horses at York last time when it paid to be up with the pace. So it wasn't a race I wanted to have a bet in. I wasn't massively keen on it. I'll go with Raasel of the 3, but say Raasel, Tenaya Canyon and Atalis Bay, the 3 for me.
Oh, cool. Yeah, but if you had to have a preference, then probably Raasel to mark him up on the basis of that second last amount. But 3 for an opener, tricky enough opener there for Andrew. Daryl, how do you play this race?
Yeah, I wanted to have a bet in it. I'm highly surprised that Dragon Symbol's as big as 9-4 on offer with a couple of firms. I think you can forgive his seasonal return run at York. I think he just ran with a choke out for much of the race and just shaped like he needed the run. That was his first race after what was a break. It was his first run for Roger Varian. I think you can easily put a line through that. Last year at the back end on his final start for Archie Watson, over 6 in the Ascot Sprint behind Creative Force. I thought he's just shaping like he wants to drop back to 5 furlongs. He's pretty unexposed at this trip. He does see this trip out quite strongly. This is a big drop in grade for him. He's been running in Group 1 company, 3 of his last 4 starts. Group 2 latest, dropped down in class. And I really just thought that a lot of these were handicappers with not many options. Stuck between a rock and a hard place, if you like, on marks of like 105, like a Clarendon House and even Atalis Bay. The angle behind Atalis Bay last week was the return to York. Now he could run just as well as I suspected him to last week here at Haydock, but I just don't think any of these horses are in the class of Dragon Symbol. So I'm very surprised that 9-4's on offer. I'll be pretty bullish on his chances here, and I hope he goes well.
Yeah, so forgiven for York last time out then. Any notable excuses or?
Well, I just think it was his first start for the yard. I thought that it was his first time returning off a backward break, so it was 207 days off. He just shaped like he probably needed the run. He does look a bit of a stuffy horse to me, and I'm hoping he improves significantly from that run, because some of his form last year is just miles above anything any of these have achieved in this field. He's clear top rated, no penalty. Yeah, I think he'd take a world of beating. I think if he steps forward and wins this, everyone will be going, God, how do we let that go off at 9-4 or 2-1 or whatever? Because, you know, he's obviously improved from his seasonal return run. So 9-4, I'm willing to take a chance. It's not like he's an even money shot. If he was an even money shot, I'd be looking at this race going, okay, let's try and get him beat. But I think 9-4 is plenty value in this company.
Yeah, and we've literally just got the markets that have opened up then as we're recording as well. So that is a very fair price for Dragon Symbol. I expected him to be, an awful lot shorter than that, really, because he's always popular in the market. And like you say, if he comes forward from that reappearance start, then he is the top rated in this race. You should take the beating on that basis if you take that as gospel. Right, we move on to Beverley then, our second race on the day. Now, this is the 205. This is one of Beverley's feature races of the entire season, which is for Hilary Needler Trophy Fillies Condition Stakes at 205, which is for the 2-year-olds over the 5 furlongs. So, Daryl, over to you, please, for this race.
Yeah, this is interesting. Last 8 winners of this race of winners last time out. The other 2, one was a Davidson, and the other one finished 3rd, beating 3/4 of a length. So I've not really got a strong opinion on any of the Beverley races really today, but just on that basis, I thought Parr Fire was probably a little bit overpriced given the way he finished off his race last time out. Real strong eye-catching finish. I thought the form is okay. I mean, we're not really going to know what a lot of this form is in these particular races until down the line. But I just like the way the horse shaped. I like the way she finished off her race. And I expect there to be a good clip on here. I think Fragrance can try and make the run-in from stall 2. Jordan stall 3. If Rowan Scott can get her prominent enough, I don't think she'll be stopping up the stiff finish. So I'd go with her. I think she's probably a bit of value. I don't know what price she is. Probably around 7 to 2-ish with the short.
4 to 1. Yeah.
Yes, I would expect Absolutely Flawless to be favourite. Probably short enough on the back of that Chester run. But Parr Fire would do for me.
Yeah, 4 to 1 then for Parr Fire. Second one in the betting as we currently record anyway, behind Absolutely Flawless. But Andrew, talking of Absolutely Flawless, you may as well step up to the plate.
Thank you. Bless you. There's a 5 is in the
blush then.
Yeah, I think Daryl's
I was debating whether to or not. I was like, that'll be nice.
Yeah, I'm only Hillary at the weekends, but yeah, very similar to Daryl. In the last 10 years, we've had 8 runnings of the Hillary Needler. 7 of those runnings have been won by a horse who won last time out. Now, those who won on turf last time out, 7 from 28, plus £20, 25 to the £1 level stake. Those who are perceived to be drawn badly, stall 7 or higher, 5 from 11 for a profit of £30.50. What they often do here is go a little bit too quick towards the inside, and particularly this time of year, if they water that inside, if they water Beverley, the clerk of the course always says they don't, but I'm convinced they try to stick more water on the inside rail to try and even up the bias, and all they do is make it an advantage to come a little bit wider and come from a little bit further off the pace. So yeah, I'm just quite happy to look at the last time out turf winners. Parr Fire, the obvious one. The first season sire, James Garfield's been doing really well at the moment. We've had another winner for the sire at Ripon earlier this afternoon as we're recording. I think we've had 4 representatives of this sire now. One of them, Poppy Fielded 0 from 2, but the other ones are unbeaten. And on Thursday night, the Armara one, is it Maria Banwell, runs in the national stakes at Sandown. So it could be a very high strike rate for progeny of James Garfield going into Saturday's race. So yeah, I'm on Parr Fire. A nice debut performance, and 4 to 1 seems fair enough to me.
Yeah, oh, perfect then. So both of the lads siding with Parr Fire there for the sire, James Garfield, then what the sire to keep on side of. And interesting then with that bias, like you say, if they do or don't water their inside line. But hopefully we get more racing on Saturday at Beverley than we did yesterday on Wednesday, where it was abandoned after the 4th race, of course, as well. But hopefully that issue at least won't be prevalent over the 5 furlong trip anyway at Beverley, because they don't have to go around the bend. That was subject of the safety concerns there yesterday. Right. Back to Haydock now. This is a 13 runner, 0 to 105 handicap for 4-year-olds and over a mile, 3.5 furlongs at 220. And understandably so, it looks a very open contest. So, Andrew, how do you play this race?
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting races of the day, I thought. Forza Orta heads the market, ran 100 to 30 last time I looked. Kind of horse you've got to stick in your place spot, as he's never been out of the first 3. The price didn't particularly appeal. I was quite interested in Scarlet Dragon for Eve Johnson Horton, because won the Duke of Edinburgh handicap over 1.5 miles at Royal Ascot a couple of years ago, ran off a mark of 97 that day, tried to retain his crown off 96 in the same race last year, and ran pretty well in defeat and finishing 6th. Now he's down to a mark of 90. He's going to have to win this if he's going to get into that Royal Ascot contest, I think. Rare that you can get into it with a rating of sort of less than sort of 94, 95. And all his wins, or all his recent wins, have come in big fields off a strong pace. So 13 runners should be just about okay for him. So I was quite keen on Scarlet Dragon. Got a stablemate in there, HMS President. I think he's turned into a classic sucker horse. He's 1 from 19 on turf. People keep backing him. He's a single figure price again. He's 9 to 1. I mean, for goodness sake, don't fall for him again. I hope it's not Daryl's nap.
It might be Kate's nap.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Contact was one I wasn't usually keen on Contact. He's only ever won in a field of 7 or fewer runners. And he's a single figure price as well. Maharajan's interesting, first time up for William Haggis, but did get beaten first time up last season, albeit on his first ever start. And he does tend to find trouble in running on occasions. That could be happening here. Kelly's Dino's interesting to see him back after a long absence, although he's always been best in high summer. He's a July-August horse for me, so I'll be fascinated to see how he gets on with a view to putting him in the tracker for later in the summer. Universal Order was a horse I gave a good mention to prior to his comeback run after a long break at Ascot last time out. He's often gone well fresh, but he did run as very weak in the betting, ran as though that were needed. It's possible that he'll do a bit better now. And he's won 4 of his 6 starts immediately following a defeat. So, maybe he could bounce back with some sort of run. Volcanic Sky is going to be prominent in the betting for Godolphin, but all his domestic wins have come in single-figure fields in July and August, so maybe not ideal conditions for him. And Rock Eagle looks best over further. He was 5th in the Cesarewitch, and so he's running over a mile and a half. So, fascinating race. I guess stick the favourite in your play spot. That's Kevin Ryan's Forza Orta, but maybe Scarlet Dragon can win this and have another crack at Royal Ascot.
Oh, I like it. Comprehensive rundown of this race as well.
Done my homework for once.
You did. It shows. Yeah, prove your workings and everything. Teacher giving you a star and everything for that then, as long as Scarlet Dragon starts. No. No, Scarlet Dragon hopefully has been revitalized by the change of yard, and hopefully all of those issues have been put to one side at least. And for him, and he's a fair price. I can see 14 to 1 there. So you're getting a big double figure price about him anyway to take on Forza Orta and Contact at the head of the market, but also a favourable mention for Forza Orta for your play spot for Andrew. Right, we're 5 minutes before your race kicks off, Daryl, so plenty of time to cover this race for you.
Well, I think he summed it up pretty well whilst getting a digging at me and you about HMS President.
I know, I was meant to acknowledge that actually. For once, I'm not siding with him, for once.
I would just go a step further with Forza Orta and say back him, because I think he's the most likely winner in this race. I had this horse marked down as a winner and waiting, sort of off a mark of around 78. He's up to 86 now, but for me, going through this race, I just kept coming back to him as the best handicapped horse in the race. He's very much on the upgrade. He bumped into one at York last time, didn't he? The Haggis horse that I can't pronounce. Gayassi, is it?
Garci, yeah.
Yeah, that horse is very much on the upgrade. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of him. And I think that race, the York handicap at York, it normally always works out quite well. And I think the right horses came to the fore. So Forza Orta was in second. Just Fine, who had a tremendous season last year, was in third. Global Storm, who had been running really well over in Maydown, was in fourth. I just thought that day that the right horses came to the fore. And although there was no excuses for him not to win, I just, again, think he's bumped into a pretty smart horse that day. I don't think there's anything else as well handicapped as that one in this race today. He's £10 better off with Maharajan for their meeting last year at Leicester, when he was touched off by 1.25 lengths. So that should hold him in good stead. Plus, he's got a race fitness edge on that one. The one, again, I did almost come down on alongside Andrew was Scarlet Dragon. I thought that horse would be quite popular, probably backed into single figure prices come the day. But I do genuinely think the most likely winner is Forza Orta, even though I'm not enamoured by the 3-to-1 price tag. But winner's a winner, Kate.
Exactly, that's it. We wouldn't crib a winner anyway. Yeah.
You sound like Derek Thompson there. Nothing virtual about a winner.
Oh, bless his heart, my God. You were getting compared to all sorts now, and Tomo was probably the last on the list I was expecting today, but honestly, at this point, I'll take it. Forza Orta, then, so both lads giving the mention. Daryl thinks he's the most likely winner to go one better than his second last time out. Right, 2 minutes until your race now, Daryl, and obviously when we get to it, we'll explain what we're talking about. Daryl's got a 3-pointer on the 220 at somewhere.
Riffin.
That's it, Riffin then. So I will quickly grab a word off you then for the 240 at Beverley, where we have a 9-runner, 0-95 handicap, 4-3 odds and over 7 furlongs. So Daryl, back to you, please.
Yeah, I really didn't like the race, Kate, to be honest.
Oh, great.
I didn't. Like I say, I've not got a strong opinion on a lot of these races at Beverley. It's just not really my sort of grade of racing. I know it's a class 3, 0-95, but this is one of the poorest class 3s you'll probably see. PERCY'S LAD, he had a really good 2-year-old season, went off the boil at 3, and then he's come back at 4, and he's just been absolutely on fire, making all the run in his last 2 starts. The form looks pretty strong from those. He's up to 96 now. I always look at a horse when they're on the market like 96 and think, how would they fare in a big handicap at York, or how would they fare at Ascot or something like that? And you probably wouldn't have him in a proper, proper Class 2 race, which is what he'll be forced to be in if he wins this. But the ratings always relate to the race that they're running in. So sometimes they can be pretty irrelevant. I think he's the best horse in the race. I think he'll try and make all the running from stall 3. He's drawn well. William Buick's on. There's lots of positives for him. I think he'll rack up the hat trick. I wouldn't be touching him again after that if you're a fan of him, because I think he'll get found out in better company. Ugo Gregory, I thought, would be he was a course specialist here at Beverley. I thought he would be the one that would give him most to think about. And Wob again towards the top of the market. I think the bookies have got this one right. So no play for me, but PERCY'S LAD, the most likely winner.
Cool. If you had to play one, then in Kubler's we trust with PERCY'S LAD, then here, in the hope that this mark doesn't find him out in this type of, I know exactly what you mean, this type of handicap, rather than, I say, the bigger runner fields at some of the bigger tracks. Then not to be rude to Beverley whatsoever, because this is one of their feature days, of course, then as well. But yeah, PERCY'S LAD, if you had to choose, Daryl, we'll let him enjoy his race. Andrew, your play with this race, please.
Yeah, tricky one, isn't it? PERCY'S LAD's got an obvious chance. There is just a worry he'll get taken on for the lead. There is a headwind forecast at Beverley, not as strong as it's going to be on Friday, but if that weather forecast is slightly wrong, then that Friday's front is delayed, and it could be hard to win under a forcing ride. I'm a Gambler was interesting, being trained by Mark Johnson. 2 previous runnings of this race, Mark Johnson won it in 2019 with Love Dreams, and he had the next second last year, a 2-to-1 favourite. Now, I'm a Gambler did way too much too soon at Newmarket last time in a Class 2 6-furlong handicap. It's gone like the clappers. And although he's finished 9th of 10, he's actually done 3rd best of those who are up at the pace. The winner, 2nd, 3rd have all come from way back. He has got form over 7 furlongs, and he's been staying on well over that trip as well in the past. So you just think 7.5 round Beverley could suit, as long as he doesn't just go hell for leather from the outset and get into a battle for the lead with the Jolly. So hopefully he takes a bit of cover towards the inside. Ugo Gregory is one I'm interested in, like Daryl, because of his course form. 5 runs here, 3 wins, a 4th and an 8th. The 8th he met treble about 18 times. He's never won above Class 4 company, but I think that's sort of a bit sort of difficult to dismiss him on that front. He's got place form in Class 3 level. He's just never really had the sort of conditions he needs when he's been running in the better races. And again, he's going to be able to get cover. Tim Easterby's going well. He's a course and so obviously he's a 3-time course winner. So yeah, I'm a Gambler, and Ugo Gregory, the 2 I'm interested in.
Cool. Both of decent prices as well to take on PERCY'S LAD then at the head of the market as well, in the hope that I'm a Gambler also doesn't get involved in a pace tear up on the front end then. So we will head back to Haydock now. This is the 255, which is the Group 3 Pinnacle Stakes for 4-year-olds and over a mile, 3.5 furlongs. There are some smart fillies and mares in here, Andrew. So who do you side with?
Yeah, I'll try and give you a comprehensive rundown here so Daryl can watch his race. I'm trying not to watch the screen with the race. I'm trying to watch Daryl's facial expression to see how's it going, because I've followed him on true courage with his confidence in that one. But yeah, this is a cracking race, and there's some interesting stats with it. If you look at a horse who just basically finished in the top 4 last time out in a non-handicap, 15 winners from 61 runners this century for a profit of £32.55. That angle would have found the winner in 12 of the last 13 years. So forget about age, forget about how long they've been off the track. Just look for a top 4 finish last time out, as long as it wasn't in a handicap. That gives you a short list of 3: Climate, Lady Hayes, and C. La Rosa. And I mean, looking at the prices, it's probably possible to sort of touch the 3 and make a good profit still. But that was the one I was looking. Although, you got Noon Star, that the stout horse who was 5th last time out. Well, I think it's been a bit overrated. It was all the rage for the Oaks at one stage last year. It didn't really live up to that billing. I just thought maybe opposing Noon Star for a place might be the way to go. Daryl's looking worried.
Are you worried, Daryl?
He's come stone last. He's crossed the line about half a furlong after the rest.
Oh
Christ, what has happened this week, I tell you.
So too bad to be true kind of finish.
He was sort of lobbing along all right, and the name was sort of stuck in the pocket. He was trying to angle him out, and it just looked like he didn't have the pace for it. He just might be one of those horses that just shows up a lot better in a better graded race because they go a stronger pace for him, and that just might be him. But that was really disappointing. That was a return to the scene of his win last year as well. The other three have finished in a bunch finish on the line. What's the Wi-Fi code has finished about 3 lengths off them, and Mile One True Courage has finished well out the back. So the market has completely been reversed on that race, really. So I don't know. I'll have to watch that again, but I don't think I'll be back. I don't think I'll be following in next time.
Unless he's in a big field, strongly run.
Well, the thing is, he might be in a big field, strongly run race just to be seen to better effect, and then sort of like not see his. He'll always bump into one better than him, though. That'll be the issue when he's up in that sort of grade. So maybe he's just done his improvement, and that's that. But
you can't win every day, Daryl.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Oh, trust me, you can. I know from experience. Right, we'll cheer you up though, and we'll get your selection at the 255 at Haydock, proving that you can have a winner every day.
Yeah, Climate is my selection in this race. Who was your selection, Andrew? Sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, I had a short list of 3. Climate, Lady Hayes, Sela Rosa. I wasn't I haven't really sort of done enough work on it to pick between the 3 at the moment. I was looking towards Lane Noonstar for a place because I think the stout horse is overrated.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Climate would be the one I'd be with. She's taken 3 massive steps forward the last 3 runs of her career. She was rated like 79 when she was over at Navan winning a maiden. And now she's rated 106 3 starts later. She was a big eye catcher behind Ville de Grace at Newmarket in the Pride Stakes. She got absolutely no run and steamed home late. Lilac Road as a subsequent winner was in second that day. I think that's pretty decent form for this division. And then it was a trip far too short, really, just over the mile 1 at Newmarket again in the Dye Stakes. Again, she sort of was outpaced mid-race and then stuck on well to the finish. Whatever she's done over the likes of a mile and even 10 furlongs is probably going to be a bonus because she's bred to be a middle distance horse and she runs like she's a middle distance horse. I'm hoping that she can just have that slight sharpness on Sela Rosa in this because I think it's between the 2 and I think she'll come home strongest of all. So I like the booking of James Doyle. Yeah, I think this is a good opportunity for her, really, because I think that the 2 races she's been in have worked out pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. Then so Climate as well for Daryl, and factoring in then Andrew's wild stats about the finishing in the top 4, wasn't it, in a group or listed? Or anything out of a
top 4
handicap.
last time out, as long as it wasn't a handicap. And,
yeah, which is great. And Climate is one of those that fits that as well. So both of the lads agreeing on that basis. Right, back to Beverley again we go. And we're back with the 2-year-olds as well now, with the 2-year-old trophy stakes, condition stakes over 5 furlongs at 3:15 at Beverley. So not much form to go on here, Daryl. Who are you siding with?
Yeah, Whistle and Flute, I just thought was a more taking performance from that one as opposed to any of the other horses in the field. Ascot went second. GM Jungle bumped into or beat that Legend of Ixanu, who Connection said they could not believe that he got beat at Hamilton. Subsequently come out and won, by a country mile. That form looks pretty good, especially with the debut form behind Yassat, who ran well at York last week. So that would be the one I'd fear the most. But I think this Whistle and Flute stays a good bit further than this, and I think the stiff finish here at Beverley would suit the horse. I expect her to be ridden prominently. But it wouldn't be a strong selection for me. 2-year-old races at Beverley are just not my thing, I'm afraid, Kate.
No, I think it's niche and specialist. If you were to say it was your thing, I think out of all tracks, Beverley is probably not the one to be going with. But Whistle and Flute, this selection then for Daryl, but also just to keep an eye out for JM Jungle then as well. Andrew, 2-year-olds Beverley.
Yeah, no strong opinion. I quite like JM Jungle for the Quinnyard, who won this last year, of course, with Tipperary Sunset. And one of the bigger prizes, the one I'll probably back each way, is Robert Cowell's Corporate Raider, who really caught the eye from off the pace at Catterick last time, finishing 4th. And of course, the Cowell Yard won this with Prince of Lear several years ago. So yeah, Corporate Raider over JM Jungle.
Oh, cool. Corporate Raider, the outsider of the entire field then over JM Jungle, who is still available at a decent price, and himself from stall 1. So both of the guys giving a favourable mention then to that lad. Right, back to Haydock. 3:30 at Haydock is another Group 3 contest in the form of the John of Gaunt Stakes for 4-year-olds and over 7 furlongs. 8 runners here, Andrew. How do you play this race?
I think you can narrow this down with the draw. In the last 10 years, if you just bet stalls 1, 2, and 3, you'd have found the winner on 8 occasions and made a profit of over £45 to a £1 level stake. So we had a good look at the 3 low draw ones. You've got Catch 22 coming out of stall 1. Ex-South African, hasn't shown a great deal in 2 starts since coming across to Britain. Maybe he needs time to acclimatise, or maybe he's just been running over the wrong trip, doing too much too soon over a mile and 9 furlongs. Coming back to 7. And again, not knowing much about the South African form, but just looking at his form figures over that trip, perhaps a forcing ride over this trip is going to see him to better effect. So he could perhaps go well at a price. He's 40 to 1. He could go off 14s or 400, I think. So, maybe wait until the day and see what happens. LANEQASH is making a seasonal debut, but he goes well when fresh. He's coming out of stall 2. And MISTY Gray's a price, considering he's well drawn in stall 3 and placed in listed company here over course and distance last time out. So I'll go MISTY Gray and LANEQASH against the field here, just looking at the draw.
Oh, okay. And then going to rule out then Catch 22 from stall 1 from your 1, 2, 3 draws for now.
Well, I'll bet them all, but I'll have a lean up towards the other 2, I think.
Okay, fair enough then. Yeah, so MISTY Gray and LANEQASH from stall 2 and 3. Still fair prices, 15 to 2 and 12 to 1 then about that pair as well. So Andrew is looking away from the head of the market. Daryl, are you taking a similar approach?
No.
No.
I don't know who priced this up. It must have been a Frankie fanboy putting somebody major at the top of the market. The last time this horse won was off a mark of 95 in a handicap. That's not worked out well. So I'm highly surprised that now all of a sudden he's favourite for a Group 3 race rate 108. I don't know where he's got the 108 rating from either, to be honest with you. But beaten by Lights On, been well beaten by Aldari, and well beaten by Eid. I'm assuming they're expecting him to take. I think they're looking at Kinross thinking he's probably going to need the run because Frankie's not on it. But Frankie would have had to erode for John Gosling anyway. So it wasn't going to be a certainty that Frankie would be on Kinross. I think Kinross is a cracking bet at 11-4. I can't believe he's not favourite. I really can't. He's done absolutely nothing wrong for me. He in the champion sprint has beaten 4 lengths by Creative Force over 6, but he got no run whatsoever. So it's a performance that you could mark up. Happy Power finished just in front of him that day. That horse never really got a run, but it was more detrimental to Kinross. So I thought you could mark that up. Previously, he was beaten at Longchamp in a Prix de Forêt by a few lengths, again staying on really strongly at the finish by Space Blues. That's Space Blues form is the strongest 7 furlong form around, bar none. He beat Creative Force last year and Space Blues at Goodwood in the Lennox Stakes. This horse, I think he'll be fit and ready to do himself justice here today. He won the race last year. His only real sort of return run after a long break, similar to this, came when he ran 6th in the Guineas, and I thought he ran really well that day. He just, obviously we found out since then, he's just not the strongest stayer at a mile, is he? Wasn't disgraced. He's, for me, by far the best horse in the race. I thought the biggest danger would be Happy Power. I've done the forecast between the two because I think they're going to pull miles clear of the rest of these. I really do, and hopefully Kinross is fit enough to get his head in front, because he's already beaten Happy Power once at Goodwood in the Lennox Stakes. I think he's a cracking bet at 11-4. I really do. So prepare to be disappointed.
Not at all. Strong case made. No, I'm completely on board now with all of those points. Like you say, his form, just going back through, I mean, he's such a likeable horse anyway, but when you sort of have it reiterated in that sense, the fact that he beat Creative Force, that he looks set for another solid campaign, mainly over the 6 furlongs, but him in the Lennox Stakes and Space Blues, who did reverse that form, but even so, yeah, he is surely therefore.
He should be a short price for. Look, this is what's crazy, really. Like Sunray Major probably can't win now saying all this, but like you look at the last 3 or 4 starts of Kinross, and you look at the last 3 or 4 starts of Sunray Major. The only time he got his head in front was when he beat Some Rocks at Ascot, and the Beats of Rocks was on the wrong side of the track that day. And I don't think a Beats of Rocks has won since, has he? He's rated 86, now rated 84. I don't get it, unless the bookies have made a phone call to the Ralph Beckett yard and they've said, he's probably going to need the run. But then I don't understand why they would send him to a race that he won last year. So,
yeah, exactly.
I'm opposite of him all day.
That's it, though, isn't it? Like I say, the fact he won this race last year, surely he's not being teed up, and hopefully the race back. I know they had the quiet patch; they have had a few winners there.
There's not loads of 7 furlong races for a 7 furlong specialist either, you know. No. And he's running on at the end of his 6 furlong race. He's shaping like he needs 7, so I think he's going to turn out to be a 7 furlong specialist, a bit like the old Space Blues will turn out to be. And I think he'll take some beating.
I love my 7 furlong specialists. They're so just rare. Like I say, they need more opportunities because they are. It's such a specialist.
Was it Safe Voyage for the Quinnyard who always used to take on Space Blues at Haydock and Goodwood, and then in France, and
just kept getting spanked.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, hopefully Kinross then will show his course and distance form and appreciate the 7 furlongs again, and he's rated £6 officially higher than Sunray Major as well, so yeah, definitely worth taking the chance there, as Daryl makes a very compelling case. Right, our final race is at Chester. Token random race then at Chester to throw into the mix finally. This is the 3:45, and if it's okay with you both, I kind of haven't really had any strong opinions this weekend.
You're gonna nap Chris, aren't you?
Chris?
Boardman.
Oh, yeah. How did it? Am I that predictable?
Yes.
Yeah. I fancy him as well.
How does he not have every chance here? He is. He's the only horse now from my sort of looking through it. I wasn't overly inspired by a lot of these races. Also, I'm definitely going to be signing with Kinross now after Daryl's points that he's just been making. But for me, Boardman to win this again, he won this race last year, yes, off of a £5 lower mark. But does he not just come here with everything in his favour yet again? He's had a similar prep yet again. Then I know he's had the one more run than he had coming into this race than last year. But the £5 higher mark, he's well enough drawn in 2. I know he's a hold-up horse or ridden further back, and that's a slight concern then if he does get into traffic trouble on that rail. But this race can very often lend itself to a horse to come from further back then in what is usually a well-run race as well. And just the form that he comes here in, coming here on the back of a win, back to this course and distance, he just has everything in his favour, no? I don't know. Do you agree with me, Andrew, or not?
Yeah. I think the 5-2 is a great price. I mean,
wonderful.
Like you say, he won the race last year. He's not a million pounds higher, is he? Considering he's won multiple times since. And the key is he needs his first run of the season, and then he runs well in April and May. Chuck out his seasonal debut. His April-May record is 5 wins from 6 starts. Very unlucky in the defeat. And everything's right for him to run a good race before he'll probably go off the boil when the sun comes out. So Boardman 5-2, great price. I thought This Is Us, the old boy, might go well as also might be the one for the forecast.
Yeah, exactly, from stall 3 then as well, drawn right next to him as well. Then he might well be interested, the 9-year-old then now. But yeah, it's Chris Boardman then for Andrew and I. Daryl, are you joining us on this bandwagon?
Yeah, I worryingly agree. It's not often I agree, actually. So, I do. And you look at the horse that he beat, to reiterate your comments, look at the horse he beat in this race last year, Eshtalab, off 91. Eshtalab's now rated 109. I think they've done remarkably well on this horse to keep him at that sort of level where he's not got stacks of weight on his back or anything like that. I think this is another really, really good opportunity for him. So I'd 100% be with you.
Oh my God, when was the last time all 3 of us actually genuinely agreed on something? I actually can't think when, and I don't know how it fared for us either. If you can remember, please list it in the comments and see how we fared. Unless it was a disaster, then please don't. But so we all agree then on Boardman for our concluding race of 3:45 at Chester. So, and no, Daryl, actually, back to you. Sorry for anything from anywhere else.
Oh yeah. I've got loads of it this week.
Go easy, Tiger. Go easy.
Yeah, no, I will go easy. In the 4:55, I don't know any prices yet. I like Broadspear. He's a horse for Roger Veron. He's just a typical, very gutsy horse. He reminds me so much of like a Siscani or something like that. I know that's Charlie Appleby, but Roger Veron gets these horses. They just grind out victories. He's just going to stay forever. He's stepping up and trip. The weekend, and I think it takes a beating. And in the 201, if this horse is not odds on, it should be 201 at Chester. Razeyna. Haven't seen any prices, but I tipped a horse a couple of Tuesdays ago called Monadar at Newcastle. This horse was held up at the rear of the field, and I mean, they got a top speed figure of 1. That's how slowly they went. Right, it was a really sedate pace. The winner and the second were always on the front end. This horse had to come from miles back, weave its way through, and to get up and win. I'm very surprised that they're not chucking her straight in a handicap off a mark 83 because she's probably better than that. And I think she'll take a world of beating in that race. But I'm probably talking about a horse that's probably going to be 4 to 6 on. So I'll stop it there.
Oh, no. Yeah, I haven't got any prices at all yet there for Razeyna. I can't say that name either. In the 201 then at Chester, but also then in the latter race there, 455, wasn't it? Broadspear, then at Chester as well for Daryl. So, Andrew, anything else from anywhere else, please?
Just the 455 at Chester, Rudimental, who was a real eye catcher at Doncaster last time. Only finished 3rd of 7 when 94 favourite. But was up with the pace that day. Typical Doncaster round course racing, needed to be patiently ridden. Winners 2nd and 4th have all come from midfield or further back. So yeah, Rudimental running style will be ideal, as will the small field.
Oh, taking on then Broadspear in that 455 at Chester. Andrew siding with Rudimental instead. Right then, Daryl, back to you for your nap, please.
I think it's got to be Kinross, the way I'll put it about him.
I was hoping it was going to be, to be honest.
I think it'll be Kinross. I hope he. I mean, there's always a worry with a horse like that that's returning from a slight absence, whether they're going to or from a seasonal break, whether they're going to be fit and ready to go. But I mean, if he's not, then I think it's a bit silly.
Yeah, exactly. Like you say, then yeah, if he's not ready to go, then why bother turning up here in the 330 at Haydock? That is Kinross for Daryl. Andrew, your nap, please.
Chris.
No, that was going to be mine.
It can still be yours. 345 Chester, Boardman.
Fine. Okay. Right. We're both going Boardman then in the 345 at Chester, which, to be honest with you, I'm quite happy that Andrew's sided with me. And I think Robert, one of our producers here of the show, has just put up when we last agreed, long press, very quickly and well remembered as well. And that turned out all right, didn't it? So we're going to hopefully keep up that strike rate then, because we are all in agreement with Boardman in the 345 at Chester. So that is everything then from the lads and I from this week. Thank you so much to the pair of them for all of their hard work as usual. Thank you to our sponsors, SBK. Thank you for watching, and do enjoy this weekend's action.